overall, but somehow we continue to vote Democratic. It doesn't align because we are sheeple, to Mary's point sometimes. So if we unsubscribe and go with what the votes in a system that aligns, would it be beneficial? Will we get more things?
Yeah, yeah. I do think, to answer the question, I do think it's time for more Black people to leave the Democratic Party. It's beyond time. We used to be Republicans in large, and the reason why we switched is we had presidents back then that made policies that were for Black people, Democratic presidents, and that is what when the shift happened. You know, if you look at, some of our heroes in the past, they were Republican. MLK's father was Republican before he switched to Democrat due to his son. And this is during the time we saw the most change as far as equality and policies for Black people. And so you look at, we just talk shit about Obama, and it's like, how many more times are you going to vote Democrat before you realize they're not making policies for Black people?
Mm-mm.
And I
so
feel
why
like,
not?
go ahead, son.
Go ahead.
But Mike, finish that last thought.
No, I mean, I want to see what she had to say, but like even stuff like the African American Museum, that was signed into law by a Republican president. That was not a Democratic president. So a lot of the things, like as far as funding, HBCU funding, this is not coming from Democratic presidents.
Yeah.
It's coming from Republican presidents.
Yeah. Damn. Go ahead, Mary.
And I feel like I agree, because that goes
Who
back.
you got next?
I agree with what Mike said, because that goes back to what Chief was saying in regards to everybody is, trying to be a Democrat because they feel like that's where they're supposed to be, because that's where they feel like the, majority lies, instead of really kind of thinking about what you really want to happen, where the changes really need to take place. They're not thinking about that because it's just automatically, this is what I'm doing. Like, for instance, a lot of kids, even growing up, it's like when you go vote, your parent tells you who to vote for. You get what I'm saying? No explanation, no reason behind it. A lot of times they don't even know. And you're just going ahead and voting behind what your parents voted behind and what their parents, stand for, or whatever the case may be, instead of thinking about what's actually happening right now, because a lot has changed today. And, people just aren't aware of that.
Yeah. What's up, Q?
Yeah, I think because we're on the topic,
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting how everybody's kind of picking one over the other, like Democrat versus conservative, or I guess you say Democrat versus Republican, liberal versus conservative, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think if it's on a national level, Black people don't benefit from either. Because if you think about it, where the fuck are we in the wealth gap? So as little that applies for us on the Democratic side is the same percentage in my eyes that applies to us for the conservative side or the Republican side. I don't think that anything that goes through the government or presidency is to benefit niggas. We're in America. So, I mean, to kind of put that narrative out there to, look towards voting Republican, and then, we would benefit from some type of change. I don't see that at all. I think that's as false a narrative as getting niggas to be Democratic.
Yeah, so this is where my first point about, like, Black community coming together to really put people in the right spots, and our people, not like Barack Obama. A good example is DC, Marion Barry. He created three Black billionaires, Robert Johnson, whoever's over TV One, and I can't remember the other one's name, but his policies created three Black.
Kathy Hughes,
and there's a third, but his policies created three Black billionaires because he came into office and said, "I'm only going to give these contracts to Black people." He was one of us. Right. And so I think and then when he got, caught up on those crack charges and all that, he got reelected because we knew that he was still for us. That can't happen today. I mean, you see with some of the politicians, I mean, they get caught doing anything. Black people, in general, we withdraw our support. And I think that's a problem. I think in every major city, there's always going to be a Black candidate of some sort. It just happens, but we just don't go out and support them because one minor error, and we just say, "Oh, fuck it," I can't put my weight behind it. So I just think that we have more power than what we believe. But I don't subscribe to saying like we can't do Democratic or Republican. I just think that creating a third party doesn't work.
Can I just say this though? Because this is very important. If it's not now, it'll be my final thought. On a local level, I want to be clear between the difference of voting for the president and voting on a local level. I think on a local level, there will be benefit to us listening to what the Republican Party has to say on a local level versus being so gung-ho and loyal to the Democratic Party on a local level. So what you just named was an example of something that benefited niggas on a local level, right?
Yeah.
So that's completely different. I want the people to hear that, take that shit in and understand it. Locally, you need to be voting.
Word.
I'll just say this. I think that we do need to divest from both parties because they've been used to us investing in them for various different reasons. And throughout history, both of them have, in some way, shape, or form, turned their backs on us, okay? I think Q is correct. We need to focus on local elections and really start listening to what they're doing because that's the only way that you'll be able to survive. The president has no power but to veto a law or sign a law that Congress passes. I don't understand why everybody's so caught up in the president because the president can't do nothing. He can create temporary laws, but again, those are laws that only Congress can pass. So I don't understand that part. And I agree with Asia. I think a lot of the issue is our kids are not mandated. There's only 3 states in the entire union that require our kids to know our process to graduate high school. Only 3. None of the other ones, they're mandated to learn the state law, state stuff like that, but they only 3 require them to graduate with a high school diploma to know our entire voting process or to know the civics of our country. That is done on purpose. That is not an accident. That's done on purpose.
Interesting.
You know what's crazy? I used to be super pro Obama. I used to be, oh my God, Obama this, Obama that, until I saw Trump come in. And then I realized how little Obama did for us, right? Because you see what Trump is doing through executive orders, pushing the law, to support his people. And then you question, why couldn't Obama do the same? Through executive order, through other ways to make laws, through agreements, because he's unapologetically white. He's an unapologetically white man, wealthy man who's going to fight for white people. Why couldn't we get that from Obama? And so I just, my expectation is not higher for any future black president, which may be what's more if we see what happens with him.
So my expectation is also not to just to vote for your candidate because they're black, because all skin folk and kinfolk. And so that's why I will repeat what I said. We need, as a people, need to understand politics and how laws work and how to read legislation. We need to really understand that as adults. Fine, we didn't get it in high school. Fine. Take your education, take that power back and learn. That's the solution that I'm talking about. I'm talking about solutions tonight. And one of the solutions to fix Black America.
Same one? Same solution you said earlier?
I want to reiterate it. So I think I might have got lost.
Final thought. So
that brown liquor got you being rude, but go ahead.
No, man, I just didn't want to hear the same thing over. So
niggas talk for. Never mind, you got it.
Yeah, I let Ro talk for a long time. Sue me. So they post all the bills every time they all come out. We all can go read them. But that shit got 600 pages. They don't say, fuck that. I ain't reading that shit. But it's all out there.
You want to hide something from a black person, put it in the book.
Word. That's still true, Asia?
Yeah, from what you just said. Yes.
Bruh. Interesting. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. I want to get to these last. final thought.
Just have a good night, everybody. I guess I'll see you next Tuesday.
Word. Mary.
We need to keep trying to build stronger Black families to help our Black little boys and girls.
Word. Ro.
The remedy to fix the Black community is to teach our children about the country that they live in and how to survive in it.
Word. Q.
I'm with a Black woman for real. My baby chocolate. Y'all be safe.
Word.
Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
my bad. Go ahead.
They like, ha ha. I know that's right. Big up. My final thought is Black people open a book, read, educate yourself, understand politics, understand legislation, understand your people, understand who you are, understand where you came from so you can know where you're going. Just educate yourself. Education is so pivotal, so that you can break the shackles of your mind off.
Word. Mike.
We have everything we need as a community to succeed. We got Black colleges, Black banks, chambers of commerce, businesses, apps, politicians, and it's really just we need to start supporting each other and being unapologetically Black.
Word. Mr. White.
Let's continue to improve our communication with each other. Let's continue to show each other grace, because Black men are worth it, Black women are worth it, and together there's nothing we can't do.
Yeah, man. 100% agreed, man. I think all the sentiments tonight were valid because they a lot of people provided some substantive thought behind them, regardless if you agree or not. Right? I think entertainment is in disagreement, but at the end of the day, you still gotta hear it. I think that's the key. Yeah, so I know Adrian touched on it, but I don't think the church is the answer. But if we can agree on a particular set of instructions, I think we would be much better off. I'll give you guys one gem. You could throw it out if you want to. If you go to Exodus 22, verse 16, sex is marriage. I wish I would have known that before I start busting all these chicks down. It's a lot of them too.
Shit like that. Shit
So,
like that. Shit like that.
Imagine
shit
how
like
much
that,
different
shit like that.
life would be if we all knew that and conducted ourselves in that way. You feel me? Just a little something. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And we out.